So you're thinking of moving to Lakeshore, Minnesota. You want to know the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the pros and the cons of living in this beautiful lakeside community. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today because we get questions all the time about Lakeshore. People often compare Lakeshore to other communities in the Brainerd Lakes area, Nisswa, East Gull Lake, Cross Lake. Really, people are wondering what community kind of fits their lifestyle the best. What are the variations in prices and geographic location within the greater Brainerd Lakes area? We thought we'd take a Google Maps tour, go ahead and jump on to the magic school bus, so to speak, and show you around and highlight, some of the best features, talk about really what makes Lakeshore really a unique town. And then, kind of sprinkling in a few of the downsides that, we got to give you the full picture. So I hate to do it, but you got to see it all. So we're going to go ahead and get after it right now. All right, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in the Brainerd Lakes area, including the town of Lakeshore, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap the bell for notifications. That way you're going to be the first to know about all the current market, all the things that are kind of happening in the area. My name is Noah Gedker. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty. We get calls, texts, and emails every day from people just like you who are looking to make their move to the area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90, reach out. We'll help you make a smooth move to Lakeshore, Minnesota. Lakeshore is, it's a small community, yet luxurious on the kind of the northwest side of Gull Lake, to the west of Nisswa, northwest of the city of Brainerd as well. Lakeside community nestled into lots of wooded areas, Pillsbury State Forest to kind of the southwest it would be. I'm going to zoom out here and show you where in relation, Lakeshore is in relation to kind of the rest of the state. So the distance from Lakeshore to the Minneapolis airport is about 2.5 hours. Pretty smooth sailing until you get down to the northwestern part of the suburbs of the Twin Cities. Pretty quick and easy. You just got to kind of watch the traffic right in here, Maple Grove, and then all the way down 494 to the airport. 2.5 hours, so not too bad. We also, talked about in the video on Brainerd that the Brainerd airport right here that has daily flights to Minneapolis airport, so you can just park for free here. Easily just walk in, jump on your flight, and it's like a 15-minute flight to the Minneapolis airport. It's a quick and easy connector flight to wherever you're headed. The next area you probably want to see, it's Duluth, Minnesota. It's going to be, we're going to head northeast, mostly east, but slightly north. About just over 2 hours. Again, be prepared. This is one lane each direction, so pretty much the entire way. There's no interstate here, so you just a little harder to pass vehicles. You might get stuck behind a logging truck, so just be prepared. If you usually plan just 2.5 hours, plan from there. And then the other place I want to point out, location wise, be Fargo, North Dakota. So it's going to be similar to Duluth, but just the opposite direction, slightly north, but to the west. So all right, gonna zoom in to Lakeshore, Minnesota here. Lakeshore obviously has multiple lakes within here that are part of the Gull Lake chain of lakes, but of course Gull Lake is the crown jewel, if you will, of the lakes within the boundaries of Lakeshore. All right, let's kick things off. Really what truly makes Lakeshore special, obviously Gull Lake. If you love lake life, this is where it happens. So from sunsets, obviously on the west side here, sunrise obviously on the east side, pontoon rides on Gull Lake are phenomenal. Really that's where it's really enjoyable, is a pontoon ride, watch the sunset. Fishing tournaments, just recently had the annual ice fishing extravaganza that happens over kind of in this area here. About 10,000 ice fishermen. I believe it's might be about 20,000 holes that are drilled. A lot of people on the ice. If you like ice fishing, that's a pretty cool experience. Of course, all winter long you can ice fish as long as the ice is safe. So there's always something to do on the lake. Zorba's on Gull Lake. It's a place that's an absolute staple for not just Lakeshore, but really the Brainerd Lakes area. So whether you're coming in by boat plenty of slips here to dock up to when you're coming in out from your boat, wherever you're heading from, or driving in. Either way, Zorba's is definitely the place to kick off your weekend here on Gull Lake chain. If you're coming up to visit, or if you live here year round, it's a great place. Legendary pizza, legendary food, just a great experience, atmosphere to kind of soak in the lakefront vibe of Lakeshore, what it has to offer. And in the summertime, this place is absolutely packed, and for good reason. So it's really kind of the ultimate hangout spot, and really people of all ages, so families to you name it. Then very close by is Bar Harbor Supper Club, right on the very kind of the northern part of Gull Lake here. Bar Harbor Supper Club, obviously, if you're looking for something a little more refined than Zorba's, pizza, fries, that kind of stuff, Bar Harbor is definitely where it's at. Really a classic Minnesota supper club, right on the water. It's gonna be a great place for a date night, or a nice little more formal family dinner, big celebrations. Bar Harbor's got a very nice menu, a lot of good food. So Bar Harbor's maybe where you'd have steak. Zorba's is where you'd have pizza or burger. Just be prepared, again, like Zorba's, during peak season in the summertime, you'll definitely want a reservation. The good thing is that a lot of these places it's generally going to be the weekends, even in the peak season, that are the busiest. So if you get in the peak season, if you get used to like, hey, let's go out Tuesday night instead of Friday night, it's going to be maybe a lot better experience, unless you like to be around crowds of people. Let's take a look at really where it is that people live in Lakeshore. So as the name would indicate, probably a lot of people live on the shore of the lake, or multiple lakes. If you're living on a lake, anyways, you're going to be all in here. This is all Lakeshore here, and then Lake Margaret, and then the Channel, Upper Gull. So yeah, all in these areas here. Personally, I really like this neighborhood right here, the Wasaya Woods neighborhood. Very private. Everybody's got a lot of room there. There's not zoom in here, kind of get an idea. Yeah, Wasaya Woods Drive, Fernmont Road, all of these Birchwood Hills. Got plenty of room for all these houses. You got neighbors, but they're you're not on top of each other. That's also really going to be the case for pretty much everywhere in Lakeshore, being pretty rural. So until you get to some of these homes off of Interlochen Road, they're going to get a little bit close, but you're not looking to the left or the right. You're looking out at the lake. Compared to a lot of other lake communities around the country, lots are going to be a lot wider. They're typically going to be more like 100-foot lots. You see a lot of these lake communities that are like 50-foot lots, just cramming houses in. You don't have much room width-wise. Pretty nice that we keep some of the beauty of the lakes and the shoreline, but not having so many, just a wall of houses. Yeah, so here's Upper Gull Lake. That's going to be not as busy. I'm just going to have people coming from the other chain lakes. We'll be going through Upper Gull, just along through the different channels down to the main Gull Lake here. These were all connected and built back when they're lumber, the logging industry was really large up here over 100 years ago. Float those logs down through Gull Lake down to the Gull River. The homes in Lakeshore are going to be higher than the average national home sale price, because a lot of them are on lake. Now, you can still find homes that are way under the national average. They're not going to be on the lake, on any of the lakes, but they're going to be good homes. So those are going to be closer to 300,000-400,000, and then the typical Lakeshore property, it'll depend. So like, depending on which lake you're on, like Lake Margaret will be more affordable than being right on Gull Lake. Pretty much you can assume that the barrier to entry is going to be about $1 million, but the more typical price range is going to be $1.5 to $3 million. Okay, so obviously Lakeshore, you're probably thinking, all right, how do we get on the lake? Well, that's important if you don't live on the lake. It's also important if you do live on the lake and you have a steep elevation that you can't just back it in. If you have level elevation, you can just get your boat in on your own property. That's no problem. But some of these, especially on the the west side, a little further south, of course, but all throughout Gull Lake, you're going to have some areas that are steep. elevation, you can't get your boat in. So the good news is that we've got public access here on Gull Lake. There's actually multiple locations on pretty much every side of the lake, but the most likely access on Gull Lake in Lakeshore is right, zoom in to the spot here, right here. So Gull Lake narrows public water access. And I would say if you're planning a weekend on the lake or going out like on a Saturday, get there early, at least during the peak season, because while it's a rather large parking lot and plenty of space for trailers and all that stuff, you'll end up seeing boat trailers all parked along the Interlochen Road, County Road 77 here, backed up quite a ways. You have to park on the side of the road, and obviously that brings with it some increased risk to your vehicles. Get there early, try to avoid that. But you can spend the entire day out on Gull Lake, because you can get there. There's multiple restaurants with docks that you can breakfast, lunch, dinner. Zorba's for sure has you can get refuel right there on the lake. And then you've got Bar Harbor, Supper Club, Zorba's, plenty of very large lake to from jet skiing to pontoon, riding to just lounging on the pontoon. Really kind of a great option is, get out for the day, go over to Quarter Deck Resort for breakfast, and then go back up to Zorba's for lunch, and then it could either go to Bar Harbor for dinner, or you could go to Grandview Lodge Resorts, and there's multiple restaurants there, so you could lots of options for dining, and that's just on the northern part of the lake. If you watch any of our videos on East Gull Lake, you'll see a little bit more of what's going on the southern part of the lake, and we'll certainly have future videos, Google Map video for East Gull Lake, and we'll learn more about Gull Lake that way too. Okay, what's really important here, a bit of a hidden gem, is Fritz Lovin Park. Just past Bar Harbor, and take Ridge Road right up here. Get right over here to Fritz Lovin Park. You've got miles of scenic walking trails, just the beautiful Stony Creek going through there, picnic areas, really perfect for family outings, or just get away for a hike. But if you love the outdoors, you'll absolutely love Fritz Lovin Park. Yeah, even a lot of locals don't even know about this park. You're getting an inside scoop, so use it wisely. But really great place to unplug, just get away. Yeah, enjoy the quietness of Fritz Lovin Park, and the Stony Brook Creek is great. They actually, there at some good fishing there if you're into fishing. So, also the Paul Bunyan State Trail, it doesn't actually go through Lakeshore. However, you can get onto the Paul Bunyan State Trail just by, heading over into Nisswa, and the state trail goes right through Nisswa. That way, if you're new to this channel and you don't know about the Paul Bunyan State Trail, it's about 120 miles of paved trail that starts in the Brainerd Lakes area, goes all the way up to Bemidji, and it's the longest paved trail in the U.S., to my knowledge. Great for biking, running, and of course there's lots of great places for running or biking in Lakeshore as well. So winter recreation, obviously there's plenty of trails for snowmobiling, talk about the ice fishing, cross-country skiing, great area for cross-country skiing. And then there's also Mount Ski Gull right here, just on the west side of Gull Lake, southern part of Lakeshore. Snowboarding, downhill skiing, that kind of stuff. It's not exactly a real mountain, but but gives you one more opportunity for winter outdoor activities. And for this area, it's pretty good. Not as expensive as Vail either, so you can take that for what it's worth. I just saved you a bunch of money right there, so yay. Yeah, just make sure you're ready for serious snow removal. If you live here, obviously the county roads and the highways and the town roads, they all get plowed and everything. But just a couple days ago, we got 6 inches of snow. Good news is we don't get snow like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan or Buffalo, New York. Those places get a ton of snow. When we get snow here, it usually stays for the rest of the year, for the rest of the winter, and kind of just keeps building up on top of each other. So it's important to get that snow removed from your driveway, sidewalks, patios, that kind of stuff. But there's also, if you don't like that, there's plenty of local people who do snowplow removal for a living, and so there's plenty of options to hire somebody to do it for you pretty affordably. Really, what you probably want to know is like, where's the shopping? Costco, Walmart, Target, where can you get an oil change, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit longer to get to shopping than some of the other areas, other communities, because we've got this big lake right here in the way, and I don't think anybody would be too happy about putting a bridge across. You got two options. You can head down County Road 77 this way and cut across all the way over here to 371 that way. I mean, generally are not going to go that route. That'll take longer. So what you'll do is just take 77 heading east right here first to 371 in Nisswa, and head south to Baxter. And it's about 20-ish minutes, somewhere in there. But this is where this corridor right here, that's where pretty much all of the shopping is. Places I mentioned, other restaurants, car dealerships, other types of shop, doctors' offices, clinics. The main hospital is right here, St. Joseph's Medical Center right here, Essentia Health. So about 25 or so minutes away. A lot of restaurants right in here too. They're going to be a different variety, so they're going to be a lot of your chain type restaurants, right? Like Chipotle, Starbucks, and Jimmy John's, all that kind of stuff are going to be in here. So Crosby, the Cuyuna Lakes area, if you're into mountain biking, that is going to be right here. That's roughly the path you'll take. You're going to have all the mountain biking right in here, 35 minutes or so to get over there. And then of course Cross Lake right up here. If you want to hit up the Whitefish chain, try something a little different than the Gull Lake chain. That's going to be about 25 or so minutes depending on where you're going. So yeah, it's going to be about 20 to 30 minutes to the outer areas of Brainerd Lakes area. Nisswa and Lakeshore right next to each other, so there's a ton of shopping in Nisswa, but that's going to be like boutique kind of specialty type shopping. Again, I don't want to sugarcoat. I want to touch on this again really quick. Lakeshore isn't necessarily a place to find budget-friendly homes. The properties here, obviously lakefront, near the lake, and the prices reflect that. So I want to kind of do a recap of really the pros and cons of the area. So that's something really to think about, is the prices will be higher. If you're looking for something that fits more in line with your budget, you might have better luck even in Nisswa, nearby Nisswa, or Pequot Lakes, like down here, kind of the north side of Brainerd and Baxter. You'll be able to find more options that are going to fit your budget. While you won't have direct access on the lake, you won't have your own private shoreline. There's still plenty of access points right here. See that there's public access to Gull Lake, so you can get on the lake, still enjoy all of the lake lifestyle that you're looking for if you are moving to Lakeshore or the Brainerd Lakes area, because of that desire for the lifestyle that Lakeshore and lake living can deliver. The stunning lakefront living, as long as that fits your budget, is phenomenal. If you love being on the water and having that direct access, having that view every day, one of the best spots in the entire country, if you will, for lakefront living. There's really, it's pretty unparalleled. If you're thinking about a vacation home, a lakefront vacation home, throughout the U.S., Lakeshore, Minnesota is one of the premier destinations for lakefront living. Definitely a plus. Outdoor recreation, again, is going to be huge. Hiking, biking, snowmobiling, fishing, so much to do year round. You're not going to be short of things to do. Lakeshore is going to be pretty quiet and relaxing environment, atmosphere. If you're looking to escape the hustle and bustle of city life, Lakeshore is definitely where it's at. Like I said, I got to sprinkle in some of those negatives. We talked about high cost of living, mostly in terms of the home prices, because of being on the lake or being in near proximity to Gull Lake. They're premium prices, and also there is a grocery store just a few minutes away right in Nisswa. Schaefer's. The prices are going to tend to be a little higher. So you got to go into Baxter to get better prices. But again, that's not too far away. You're probably making regular trips down there anyways to Baxter, Brainerd, so just plan accordingly. Within the city of Lakeshore, you do have very limited amenities. There's restaurants, but that's about it. There's no shopping, schools, healthcare, none of that. The other side of that is that, you know, right in Nisswa, you know, there's some options, but especially just right in Baxter, all of that is available to you. An easy escape back to, you know, the quiet, you know, privacy of your lakefront living or lakeshore living. So, you know, I think the final thing I'll mention is just that, you know, the seasonal accessibility, you know, obviously if you want to be boating all year round, pretty difficult in January, February. Winters are long, snowy, cold, tend to be darker. The sun is not shining as much. It can be pretty cloudy. So it's great if you love winter sports, but if you're not a fan of the cold, snow removal, shoveling, that kind of stuff, if that's a huge negative to you, you may want to really consider that. So that's the yin and the yang, the pros and the cons of living in the Lakeshore, in the Brainerd Lakes area, but specifically Lakeshore, Minnesota. So if you're thinking about making the move to Lakeshore, or really anywhere in, you know, the greater Brainerd Lakes area, reach out, shoot us an email, send us a text, you know, give us a call. And I'd absolutely love to help you find your dream home, cabin, family home, whatever it may be, but make your move to the Brainerd Lakes area as smooth as possible. Don't forget to like and subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, leave a comment below. You know, I know there's a lot that I missed, and I'm going to cover it in more videos. I want to get out onto the street and actually get out on the boat here once it warms up and tour around. Give you a better close-up view of everything that's going on. Let me know what specific information you'd like more on. You can just leave that in the comment section. But until next time, we'll see you around town.